Hi, I'm Bill Murray. Welcome to this week's Smoke Break. I'm Bill Murray.
Hello, I'm your other host, Jim Carrey. I'm Jim Carrey, and we're here on the set of our Western movie, Pot for Teacher.
Not Hot for Teacher, Pot for Teacher. It's a play on the epic sung by Van Halen.
The band Van Halen.
Killed some time with a girl, sticky sweet, like a cat sleeping in the street, without a care to compete, just a new friend for a death degree. And if he gives me his hand.
We're in an old-timey Western town today. We're on location of our new movie that me and Bill Murray are in, my friend. We've been friends for a while now. But we're standing next to this old-timey trash can. Now, I believe back in, these days, our movie takes place in 1895. I believe they were called waste buckets.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure when we switched from calling them waste buckets to trash cans, but somewhere along the line it happened.
My guess would be that it was sometime between poodle skirts and mini skirts. I was pretending I was used just now.
That's hurtful, Bill. I don't just yell things and make motions in my movies. Now, I'm thinking maybe they quit calling them waste buckets because they called, human excrement, feces and urine and piss and shit, they call that waste. And I'm thinking maybe they wanted to distinguish between, the buckets you shit in and the buckets that you throw your trash in.
Which honestly, it seems wasteful to have two different places.
It does.
Just a waste of space.
Why it all can't just swirl up into one? I feel like that'd be good compost.
You make those faces.
That's like my signature face. It made me a lot of money. I'm pretty sure this lifts up and you can shit in here, I think. Yeah, you can shit in there if you wanted to.
I shit in there earlier. Shat.
Really?
I took a William Shatner in there. This might look like an ordinary wheel, but in fact, this is the wheel I used on my wagon in 1895 because I play his great-grandfather.
I'm a teacher from the year 2012, and I get transported back in time. And I get stuck there. I don't know my way back. And I find out this is my great-grandpa living in this little town that I come, and I'm a teacher. So I just decided to get a job at the schoolhouse because there's an opening. And
I just retired.
Yeah, he was the teacher, which makes it like, oh, my great-grandfather was a teacher, and I'm a teacher, family stuff.
The first thing under grammar is give 9 rules for the use of capital letters. Capitalize names, capitalize places. Nailed it.
We're here in the schoolhouse. This is where the bulk of the movie takes place. There's a lot of learning that goes on in here. Am on it if I peg, bell, beg, tell, less pen, step, sup, sil, wig, win. I usually do a lot better at reading those words fast, but I'm not in character right now.
This is not, in fact, even just a wheel I use. This is also the wheel of time. You'll notice there's 16 spokes, like in the Mayan calendar. Okay, name and define fundamental rules of arithmetic. Is that the devil's arithmetic? I don't know. This whole thing just seems really outdated, and so we put it up here as a fun little thing for people to watch. But what you're going to find out in our movie is we take our kids and say, this is bullshit. You're going to fuck each other and smoke weed. And based on how good you do, you'll pass or fail. It's pass-fail. Because who needs to know what is climate? Upon what does climate depend? I don't know. Ask Al Gore.
But these are all the words that we're teaching kids in the movie. They're all really simple words, but we all use them in sentences about pot. We're teaching them about pot. Beg, like I would beg for pot. Win, if you have pot, you win. Pat, I'll give you a pat on the back if you give me a J-bone. This is the wheel of time, like he said, and this little hole right here is the keyhole. And lucky enough, I found out that the key is a male member. You know what I'm glad is making a comeback? Bow ties.
Bow ties make a big comeback in our movie. Hey, wait, check this out.
And I was like, man, that looks like an anus, and I just want to try it out. So I stuck my male member in there, the key to the past.
I'm glad that you were able to fit. That's a good... Because it doesn't work if you don't fit.
Right, you have to fit. And this thing just started spinning like crazy. And I was just running around with this big wheel of time spinning on my member. And I was so scared. And it just started spinning and lighting up. And next thing I knew, I was back in 1895.
I found you in my field. It's classic Murray.
Farting on wood bench. That's like the definition of Bill Murray humor. So I wake up in this field in 1895 and I got this big wheel of time stuck on my penis and it's still just spinning like crazy and my penis is smoking like crazy and you think there's a fire in your wheat field and you're like, you know, I gotta put that shit out, that's my livelihood. So you run out there and be like, what the hell is this future motherfucker doing in my field with my wheel of time?
That's what I say to you.
That's the exact line from the movie. Like,
what the hell is this future motherfucker doing in my field? I was gonna try to do the one cheek sneak
when you farted?
When I farted, but I decided it would be funnier and more classic Murray
if you just, you know, like took leverage.
I wanted to get more sound, and wood is a good reverberator. I know that because I'm an engineer. I've tangoed with the wheel of time. I'm the creator.
Right, yeah, you created it in your workshop.
What's funny is I created it in my workshop in the year 2014.
Really?
And I came back in time because I always enjoyed a simpler time.
But you're still my great-grandfather.
But I'm still your great-grandfather.
That's the mindfuck that you're entering when you watch this movie.
Yeah. You will not marry during the term of your contract.
Well, yeah, that's an obvious one. I mean, teachers don't have time to be wives, too, and washing dishes and blowjobs.
True.
You are not to keep company with men.
Of course. We're gonna keep company if we're dudes. I understand if it's a woman, why would you keep company with men unless it was to fuck? Which they don't have time for because they're too busy with the kids.
Grading books.
Yeah. You know, while you're leaning on this, I just want to talk about it. This looks like it could just be like a regular farming tool. You get some horses up there.
Mm-hmm.
You sit down. Your lady friend sits on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
The horses do all the work.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you invent this too?
No.
Oh.
You must be home between the hours of 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. unless attending a school function.
What? What about bingo and church and horsing around?
So yeah, like what I'm saying is, you get a lady up here. The horse, you're the horse.
You may not loiter downtown in ice cream stores.
That's really big no-no because you know what ice cream leads to? Sex and drugs and violence and an awesome time.
Ice cream is the root of all evil.
You're bouncing up and down in the field. This is a lady. This soda's a lady. You're getting a good time.
Yeah.
You may not smoke cigarettes. Your dresses must not be any shorter than 2 inches above the ankle.
That's right, because adolescent boys love calves. I mean, they get off on calf muscles. Teachers cannot show their calf muscles.
Back in the day, just when I was in school, if a teacher showed some calf off, I was about to whack off. I'm from 2014, you're from 2012, and we decided, why don't we change history? You can't see it, but there is a stove right there. I'm sure we can get some B-roll of it. Basically this whole movie is just pro-weed legalization. That stove, you might think, oh, that'll keep kids warm. Yeah, it'll keep them warm and laughing because we put weed in the school's oven heater.
Yeah, and the kids are just laughing hysterically, everything is funny, and they're learning like crazy.
They're learning so much because they actually care to listen to you now.
Yeah, They're like, whoa, this is interesting.
You're telling me about the future I want to live in.
To keep the schoolroom neat and clean, you must sweep the floor at least once daily, scrub the floor at least once a week with hot soapy water, clean the blackboards at least once a day, and start the fire at 7 a.m. so the room will be warm by 8 a.m. But of course we're burning pot, so no one gets cold. They're always just really stoned.
In the end of the movie, we end up, after we have an argument about whether or not the kids should go to 2014 for just a field trip. I'm for it, you're against it. But it's typical. We have to have an argument, so in real life he would be for it.
Yeah, I mean, and my character believes it's too much of a culture shock. They feel like they would get there and they'd be shitting in trash cans all over the street and they wouldn't know what's going on because cell phones and
Selfies?
And like Insta stuff.
As you can probably see, these tents, it's our craft service tents. There's no food in it right now, but it looks like my friend Jim Carrey's going to get some imaginary food. What if we lose track of one? Who are we going to bring back in time to replace that child?
How do you send a note home to your parents to get permission for that field trip?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm giving my child written consent to travel time, be turned into space particle material, and get transported to 2014. And it actually, you know, it works though, because most of the parents can't read and they just put an X on the line and
as their signature.
We transport them.
There's no food. He's such an idiot. He's pissed off now because there's no food. He's kicked his bottle of water that was actually Coke Zero originally. He is super sad. He's probably gonna have Wes's ass for this. This is super funny. He's gonna run. He's running. The red, it's almost like a raging bull. I almost think he's De Niro right now.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's Smoke Break. I hope you've enjoyed it. We sure have. I love being back in this time. I really get really into it. It's cool.
I love the sweaty women. You wouldn't expect as many sex scenes as there was in this movie, but I'm really into Game of Thrones. And that's basically what this movie is. It's called Pot for Teacher. It's a pro-legalization of marijuana at the same time as just having lots of anonymous sex partners in the 1890s.
Well, I guess we're going to head inside now and get back to teaching some stupid kids. You got the key? Fuck, Bill!